Okay, this is Group 7, and this is our project on the EC2 instance launching and creation of databases. So, this tutorial, I'm going to demonstrate how the EC2 is being created. I already have one here which I named trans, and I'll be taking you through how to create a new one, and then how you connect it. You create a Postgres database and connect to the instance EC2 instance. So first, in order to create one, you have to do you have to go to launch instance here at the top, allow it to load. Then you name your instance, maybe then how you want to name it. So you do it maybe new instance. Then you select. I prefer using the Amazon Linux as the application and OS image. And then you come here, instance type, leave it like that. Then the key, then the key pair or login. So I already have one here that I created some time ago, which is trans. Yes, when you actually do this, you ask you to download an image, a, a file with the name trans, the name that I'll give which is trans, and then .pem because it's a pair file. So you actually have to select trans, and then we do create security group. So with my security group, I have to allow SSH so that we'll be able to upload our project which we've done, which is the back end of our translink transport service or a logistic service to the EC2 instance. So allow SSH, then I select anywhere, which is a security group that I've created here. Then I think that's all. Then after that, you launch. You click launch. You click on launch, and then it will create the security groups to create the instance. To launch the instance, create the security group, initialize it. Yes. So since I'm already having the trans the pen file already, I didn't have to create another one, so I just have to. Yeah, it connects directly. Yes. So in a situation like that, you have to create your own pen file. Your pen file, yes, which which I actually created and I've downloaded around here. Let me show it to you. Which is over here, which I've downloaded over here. Okay, in my downloads. So back to our EC2 instance. Okay, back to our EC2 instance. We Okay, so since we have it already, we just have to go and then do the database side of it. So we'll wait for it to load. So hold on. I'm going to my dashboard to locate the database, to locate the RDS database creation. Yes. So it's still loading anyway. Okay, it's actually coming. So recently I visited some sites, which is the Aurora and RVS. So um, so created, since I've already visited it, I'll just click on it so that it will take me to, oh, that's bad. So it will take me to the database. I'll create a data. I've already created one for our project. The reason why I'm just going to teach how it's done is because it takes a lot of time to upload a project. So that's why I've already uploaded it and I'm demonstrating how it is being uploaded. So I'll go and create the database. Mm, so here you go to create. Uh, you go to create with full configuration. Yeah. So I selected Postgre database, and, and I created a database with that. So after creating the database, you have to take note of the host name, the password you use, the master username, and others. You have to take note of them. Yes, so maybe database two, the master username, maybe db master, db master. Then password, you can create a password. You create a password for it. Then you do your creation. So after you created, let me go to the one that I've already created to demonstrate what I mean by the database and stuff for you. So after creating it, you have to go and take note of all those database that you have. So you go here, so you take note of the name and stuff. You actually be using it to connect to your EC2 instance so that your backend can communicate with the database. So, so still taking some time to load. Okay, so this is our database. This the trans DB. So I'll tap on it, open it. So you have to take note of certain credentials over here. You have to take note of this which you'll be using. You have to take note of, you have to take note of you go to configurations. Yeah, this it. You have to take note of the instance ID. You have to take note of the password, the master username. As I said, I set my password. That's my master username and stuff. Okay, so we'll be using it very soon. Yes. So now I downloaded my. Okay, so let me just demonstrate how we are going to do. um, So let me open my project, the cloud project folder where I stored my transparent file and display. So this is so I'll go, yes. So this is my trans. Okay, so this is my trans pen file which I'm having over here. Yes, so in over here you can see it's named trans.pem. So the pen file helps you to use your SSH to communicate with your EC2 instance, and then post your post your project or upload your project into the EC2. So I open this file in the terminal, this project. So I have my project stored on my desktop on a location. So the project is stored in a folder called projects. That's the name of the folder. So I've already, let me just locate the command. Um, yes, so when you use the Amazon Linux, you are being identified as EC2. You have to check out for the public IP of your EC2 instance, and this is mine. So if you want to upload, you have to take note of it. Then you upload, use the command line for it. Like to Let me show you quickly the command line. I think I'm having some few challenges. So this is our command line here. Since it's still not, I'm having some few challenges. Okay, so let's just switch back um to our file. So you open it in the terminal, you type the command line scp, then dash I, then the name and the extension of your trans file. That's the trans.pem. So we have we have let me try and wait for you to see. I think it's not. When you open it, okay, let's just when you when you actually open your it in the terminal, you do the scp dash I, you give spaces actually, so give another space, then trans.pem dash r. The dash I will identify your trans.pem file, then the dash r, after the dash r it will read from your where your project is stored, so you put the directory of where your project is in it, and you give space, then you do EC2 dash user at, then your IPv4, public IPv4, which is actually located in your EC2 instance. When you select it, you see it actually over here. And let me um, so it's actually over here somewhere. I have to go back to my, yes, you have to go back to AWS. It's actually here. So when you click on the EC2 instance, you see all those the IPv4, you see the details of it. So let's just go to our EC2. do the instance, and then yeah, that's this our the one for the trans. So when you select it, you start seeing the details and you see the IPv4 address somewhere here. Supposed to show somewhere here. Yeah, this is it. You see it around here. They are under the networking section. So from there, so when you are typing your, so when you are typing your is your command, you bring your EC to the address. You bring the address. So you bring the address and then you do a colon slash home slash EC2 dot user. So from there, then you press enter. Then it will start uploading. It will start uploading all your projects into the EC2 instance. So it then uploads it. And after the upload, you have to go and check if it has actually done. So you have to connect, you have to use the SSH, which we actually allowed the security group to now access the AWS and view the file from there. So you do, so we have a command line for that one also. Hold on, please. So we have a command line for that one also, which is ssh-i trans.pem. You have to still you have to open the terminal at where your trans.pem file is. So you do trans dash I trans.pem, then you do EC2 dash user at, then your public IPv4 address will come. Then you connect your SSH, so SSH dash I give space trans.pem, then EC2 user, since you are using an Amazon Linux, then at, then the public IP address will come, then you hit enter, then you'll be able to check out if it's there. So when you get there, you have something called the .env file. You have to edit it with the details of the database. You get me? You have to update it with the details. So the host name, let me change it to that before you see it. Mm, yeah. No, what was it? So so you go to the RDS and yeah, Aurora and RDS. So when you get there, you see your database, the one that you created. You go to the database, you view transdb, sorry. So you have your details here. So connected compute resource. So it's connected to my EC2. So let me open it again. So it's actually showing here that it's connected. I did it as part. You go to your EC2 and then you add the connection. So it is actually connected to the EC2 instance that I've created. And so normally the port number for connection is 5432. You have to take note of that. All these things are going to be in your env file. So you take note of the transdb. That's the name of the ID, your master username, master password, and stuff. So you have to take note of it. So since I'm having issues, I'll be doing the demonstration. Sure pick some pictures to do the demonstration to show you what I mean. So this is how you create the EC2, and that's my contribution. The next part will show my learned colleague's part where he designed um, he gave the design of the page, which is the various diagrams, which is the use case and the architecture diagram and the planning of kind of the design for planning of the system. Thank you very much.
Okay, so I go by the name of and I'm here to explain the diagrams in our project work and how everything works on our couple websites right now. Okay, so the name of this project is the Translate Cargo and the Logistics System, which what is showing right now is a use case diagram. So to talk about the use case diagram, this is basically whatever that goes on the website here. So once a customer visits our website or our system, what they do right now is they just register if they are new to the system, or they are going to log in if they have already been there before. So they'll just get back their account and then do whatever they want to do. And then to talk about the book shipment, once you are in, you just come to the book shipment. Since it's a cargo and then a logistics system, you just come and book whatever you want to do with our services. So once you are done with the booking, you can just track everything right here on the system to know when your items are arriving or whenever they are going to be updated. So the uploading of documents is the payment and everything. After you are done, the uploading of your payment slips and everything, so that the staffs can check them out and know you've paid for your service, so you need to deliver. And then the staffs are in charge of updating your order status, which is they are still pending, they are on their way coming, or whatever that's happening. Then they are capable of viewing all shipments. That's anything at all that customers have booked. This one, customers have booked. Everything is viewed by the staff. So talking about the AWS development architecture, this is basically everything, and then the rundown of everything on the system. Okay, so the internet and the users are just visitors or customers logging into or accessing our website or our page. Okay, so once they visit our page, everything is now forwarded to the security group, which is they are going to check whether the traffic are safe. Are they going to accept them? Are they going to reject whoever is going to access the site or whatsoever? Okay, so once that is done, whatever that you are going to do on the site is then proceeded or forwarded to the EC2 instance, which is where the new JavaScript and the Express is. So this one, they are capable, or they are in charge of any activity that you are going to do on the website, which is you are going to create an account. They are the ones that are going to forward the request of you clicking on the register. They are going to forward it and do anything at all over there. So once that is done, everything is stored here. If you created an account, you logged in, you booked an offer, or you booked for a shipment or anything, the RDS Postgre is responsible for keeping all those, and then PDFs and everything that's done by the user in there. Okay, so once that is done, everything is now forwarded to the Amazon 3 bucket, which is the storage bucket, which is where everything is stored, So maybe after shipment or after booking, you uploaded some documents, which is your payments, receipts, images of your items or whatever you wanted to be shipped or done, and then PDFs of whatever you've received. The S3 bucket, the storage bucket, is responsible for keeping everything on the website. And then to go to the CloudWatch, the CloudWatch is actually just they are just responsible for taking the metrics and the logs on the website. So basically the memory, and then they monitor the CPU and then the performance of everything that goes on the website. So they just help to identify if there's issues before users comes on or whatever they do on the websites. Okay, so and then we talk about the ER diagram, which is the entity relation diagram. Okay, so the entity relation diagram is basically just a summary of everything that we explained here in the AWS deployment architecture. Okay, so this user is just the ID of the customer, the name, your email, and then your role. So once everything is done here, everything is forwarded, which is the next step is the shipment. So we talk about the origin, which is where your actual package or whatever you want it to be shipped is from, and then wherever it's going to, that's the destination, right? And then the status of it, has it been shipped yet, is it still pending, whatever is going on in there. And then this is the documents, this is the file name, the file type, whatever you are doing, the names and everything on there. And then the status, has it been completed yet? Has it been shipped? Not delivered yet? And then notes, maybe you left a note before the shipment or something, and changed by if you made any changes or anything like that. So that's basically everything about our cargo company, TransLink Cargo, and then the logistics company. So thank you very much. I'm Elvis Champon.